In 2009, a Hollywood movie called 2012 became a big hit. It showed a scary idea that the world would end in 2012. Suddenly, this idea spread everywhere, filling news channels, magazines, and even people's homes. Many began to believe a huge disaster was coming, that our time was running out. But where did this fear come from? It came from a strange calendar. A calendar that ended on December 21st, 2012. Since there were no dates after that, people thought it meant the end of time. But here we are today, still living and moving forward with technology. As you watch this video, it's clear the world didn't end. The movie 2012 was fictional, and the idea of an apocalypse was just hype and fear. However, one thing from the story was real: the ancient calendar that started all the rumors. This calendar belonged to one of the world's most fascinating and advanced civilization, the Maya. The Mayan civilization existed thousands of years ago, and they left behind mysteries that still amaze us today. They were experts in astronomy, math, and architecture, yet they seemed to disappear suddenly. But did you know that the Maya and ancient Indian cultures have some surprising connections? Some even say that thousands of years ago, travelers from India crossed the ocean to Central America and helped build what we today know as the Mayan civilization. Could it be that those two faraway cultures were connected in ways we are only beginning to realize? In today's video, I'll explore the secrets of the Mayan calendar, take a look at the daily lives of the Mayan people, and dig into interesting connections with India. The story of discovering the Mayan civilization began with two curious people and a mysterious land. In the early 1800s, a writer named John Lloyd Stephens and an artist named Frederick Catherwood went on a journey into the thick jungles of Central America. They had heard rumors about an ancient advanced society lost in time. Their destination, the unexplored forests of Honduras. Their mission, to find a hidden world. After trekking for days through thick jungle, they came across a buried statue, half covered in moss, a piece of history lying in plain sight. This statue wasn't just a clue, it was a sign that there was something close to something amazing. They soon decided to buy the entire area and gathered local villagers to help clear the land and started digging. What they uncovered was astonishing. An entire city, untouched for centuries, filled with huge stone buildings and intricate carvings. They had found a lost world. And this was just the beginning. The civilization they had uncovered, which they named the Mayan civilization, spread across Central America, covering regions in Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and beyond. Stephens was so moved by their discovery that he wrote a detailed book about it, sparking worldwide fascination and bringing researchers from all over the world. Slowly, side by side, a vast civilization was revealed, one that has been hidden from history for thousands of years. The story of Mayan civilization began nearly 4,000 years ago, around the time when people across the world were forming their first societies. In Central America, people lived by hunting and gathering. But the Mayans soon began building something much larger. Around 3,800 years ago, they set up the first settlement, which quickly grew into villages. These villages kept expanding into busy towns, and eventually, grand cities appeared. For about 2,000 years, Mayan cities developed across Latin America. Unlike many societies that struggled, the Mayans thrived because of their excellent farming skills. They understood the land well and learned to grow maize, beans, and other crops on a large scale. These crops weren't just food, they were the backbone of the Mayan life. With farming as their strength, they built cities that would last for centuries. In his book, The Maya, Professor Michael Code describes how Mayan society was organized. Each Mayan city was like its own small kingdom, ruled by a king or even at times a queen, an unusual mix of male and female rulers for that time. Rather than one large empire, the Mayan civilization was made up of many city-states, each with its own ruler. These cities were not just functional, they had massive forts, sturdy buildings, and beautifully carved temples. These temples weren't just for worship, they symbolized the divine power of the rulers and were central to the Mayan life. The capital cities, usually about 50 kilometers from the outer region, were the heart of the culture and spirituality, showing the influence of their leaders. When a king was crowned, the ceremony often included human sacrifices, which they believed would connect the king to the gods and ensure divine protection. These decisions weren't made alone. The kings were supported by nobles and priests who helped them maintain the spiritual and social order in Mayan life. For years, the Mayan civilization's written language was an enigma, much like the script of Indus Valley civilization. Mayan script remained undecipherable until the 1960s. Until then, scholars could only speculate about what lay hidden in their inscriptions. But in the 1960s, a breakthrough came when a museum worker finally cracked the code, revealing a complex language made up of really 800 pictorial symbols. The decoded symbols unlocked a new understanding of the Maya worldview. For instance, a frog symbol represented birth, a potent image of life springing birth from water, while a tooth symbol marked the coronation of a king, symbolizing power and preeminence. This language didn't just tell stories, it recorded years of kings and queens, making the Mayan one of the earliest civilizations to keep such detailed historical records. The Mayans were deeply spiritual, worshipping a vast pantheon of gods, over 5,000 deities in total, with the sun god and the moon god holding special reverence. This devotion shaped every part of their society, from daily life to grand ceremonies, weaving spirituality into the fabric of the Mayan culture. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Mayan civilization is its surprising similarities to other ancient civilizations, especially Egypt and India. Just like Egypt is famous for its pyramids, the Maya city of Yucatan in Mexico also had a magnificent pyramid, decorated with animal statues like jaguars. This pyramid is not just a marvel of construction. It has 365 steps, believed to represent the days in a solar year, almost like a stone calendar. Beyond structures, the Maya and Hindu civilizations shared important cultural symbols and spiritual concepts. For instance, the swastika, a sacred symbol representing cosmic order and well-being in Hinduism, often appears in Mayan artifacts as well. For both, it represented the cycle of time, a constant flow of creation, preservation, and destruction, showing a cosmic balance like the Trinity. Mayans also revered animals like jaguars, similar to how Hindu scriptures honor animals like the tiger. For both cultures, these animals symbolize divine power. In Hindu culture, animals like the elephant and symbols like the lotus carry deep spiritual meaning, symbolizing wisdom, strength, and purity. Similar motifs are found in Mayan carvings and decorations, especially in their temples and ceremonial items. Another interesting parallel is the concept of churning of the ocean, a powerful motif in both Hindu and Mayan beliefs. In Hindu scriptures, the Samudra Manthan or churning of the ocean represents the internal struggle between good and evil, where divine forces come together to bring forth treasures. Similarly, Mayan mythology describes a cosmic struggle between opposing forces, a theme that suggests a shared symbolic language. One of the most remarkable connections is in their understanding of cosmic cycles. The Mayan calendar, which begins in 3112 BCE, closely aligns with the start of the Kali Yuga in Hindu tradition, around 3102 BCE. This similarity raises questions. Were these distant cultures somehow connected, or did they discover the same cosmic truth on their own? Lastly, there is an interesting link in the ancient Indian epic, the Mahabharata. In it, Arjuna's friend, a skilled architect named Maya, builds a grand palace for the Pandavas, defying known laws and architecture. This place was unique, blending extraordinary illusions and complex designs. It was crafted with reflective floors resembling water and illusions that amazed visitors, showcasing a level of skill beyond typical engineering. Some researchers, like B.J. Siddharth, suggest this character could represent a deeper connection to the Mayan people of Central America. Imagine the implications: a connection spanning oceans and thousands of years, hinting that ancient cultures might have shared knowledge or even traveled between these lands. The Maya civilization in Central America was notable for its achievement in astronomy, architecture, and mathematics, much like ancient Hindu civilizations. The Maya's pyramids, temples, and city structures reflect architectural practices that Maya the architect share. And to your surprise, Mayan connection to India doesn't stop at Mahabharata. A city called La Ciudad Blanca, located in Honduras, worshipped a figure, just like Lord Hanuman. The local folklores talk about how a monkey king established a kingdom what flourished for centuries. If you are interested in knowing more, don't forget to check out our video on Lost City of the Monkey God. One of the most fascinating aspects of Maya civilization is their unique calendar, a timekeeping wonder that gained worldwide fame in 2009 due to a Hollywood movie. The Mayan calendar was highly accurate in tracking time, with the circular design that marked 365 days split into 18 months of 20 days each, plus an extra 5 unlucky days. These 5 days were considered spiritually dangerous, a time when the boundary between worlds was believed to be very thin. This calendar ended a major cycle on December 21st, 2012, which led many to believe it meant the world would end. However, to the Maya, this didn't symbolize the end of everything. It simply marked the end of one cycle and the start of another. While the Mayan civilization eventually declined, it certainly didn't mean the end of the world. The fall of the Mayan civilization remains one of the biggest mysteries. Around the 8th century, the once prosperous Mayan cities began to weaken, and by the 9th century, most were abandoned. Despite their achievement in architecture, astronomy, and farming, the Mayan civilization gradually faded. Much like the Indus Valley civilization in India, the exact reason for their decline is still unknown. But if you're interested in knowing the possible reasons for the decline of such civilization, let me know in the comments, and I will make a video about it. The Mayan civilization, like India's own ancient cultures, remind us of humanity's strength, mysteries, and possible connection between ancient worlds. As we learn more about Maya, we might discover that our shared human story is richer than we have ever thought. If you are fascinated by Mayans and their amazing cities as I am, check out our video on La Ciudad Blanca, Lost City of the Monkey God. Click the link and let's continue this journey together. This is Harry signing off. Stay curious.